I wasn't planning to do a video of this game, but I ended up playing it and just recording lots of footage. So this is actually a game that was one of my favourites growing up. I was a fan of the Dizzy games on my Amstrad, and this is actually probably my favourite of all the Dizzy games. This isn't the version that I played at the time though. I had it as part of this 5-game box set, and most of these are pretty good games. I'd say the 3 on the right here are probably the best, and these 2 are not really that good. And that was actually £10 brand new. I've recorded the footage already, so I'll just turn you over to the game. So here we are, and this game does, right from the start, look quite a lot different from all the other games. In all the other games, the graphics are actually mostly reused from game to game. There's Pogi, and he's one of your friends that you have to rescue. By the way, just for a minute, check out this music. If you spend any time playing this game, you'll realise pretty quickly that you're going to spend a lot of time walking between this area and the windy shaft, because most of the game is down the windy shaft and you need to have the boulders to get down there. And I suppose it's quite a nice design. You need to have more to get further down, and to get back out again you just drop them. But it does mean making repeat journeys to this location over and over again. Right now you can only pick up 2 items at once, but there is a bag that you can find that lets you carry more items. A lot of these graphics are very new, but there's also new animations as well, like that falling animation. In a long running series, from game to game, I guess you would need to do something to improve upon the last game. So this being the 5th or the 6th main Dizzy game. All this extra stuff is almost just par for the course, but it's weird how this does seem to be the only game that has all of this extra stuff. But the game after this, Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, was made by an entirely different team. Apparently it was quite difficult for Codemasters to find people willing to make 8-bit games that late on. And we're talking almost 1993 when that game came out. Right, so we have 2 rocks. Be careful you don't fall too much when you play this, because it does make you lose a bit of life. Yep, so carrying rocks takes you down the windy shaft. You might also notice the colours change as you go from screen to screen. Yeah, so the story goes that Dizzy accidentally sent everybody down here underground because he read a spell book and he accidentally cast the spell. What kind of spell it is, I don't know. Not a very good one. Ah, here's a cool set piece, which we'll get to a little bit later. You do actually get a chance to ride that minecart. Yeah, and if you have the 128k mode, there's a lot of them scrolls, and some of them are advertising. I've never liked that. And Codemaster games do tend to have advertising in them. I've never liked that though, especially in the game. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit, you know. Yeah, and water is featured in the game, of course. There's about 3 different areas that have water, I think. And there's quite a variety of different areas in the game. And actually a unique feature in this game, you can get some flippers as well as an aqualung. If you can find the flippers, they are pretty hard to find. And this is such a massive game. It really is. It's quite amazing actually that this is so much bigger than the other games, but it's not only bigger, but there's also a lot more in it. It's not hundreds of empty rooms, just so you could say that it's a big game on the back of the box. I'm going down once again, a little bit further this time, to meet my first yoke folk. I suppose you could say that I did actually see Dylan earlier, but I'll be rescuing someone. Now if you remember, I said that you need to have... Oh, I didn't say, did I? Well, you have to rescue the yoke folk, but what you have to do is have an item from them and 5 magic stars, and you do have to get all of them, I think, to finish the game. So how long have I been playing this now? I've been playing it a long time and I hadn't even rescued anybody yet. And see the interactions between the characters. It's not very Nintendo, is it? There's always a little bit of subtle humour in there somewhere, which is quite nice. More advertising. Oh, that looks nasty, doesn't it? So that's actually a point in the game where you could argue that's bad design, because you might think there's a way to get further over to the left. It turns out there isn't anything over to the left. That is the end of the game map, the game world. So you could be stuck. I mean, you could be stuck with a puzzle elsewhere in the game, and then you come back here thinking this is the key to finding the item I need to get further. You know, and no, there's no way past it. So now Dizzy is sporting an aqualung, and it's not something that's new to the games. It wasn't new to the games at the time, but in this game you can actually see him wearing it, and a bit later on in the game, if you can find them, there are some flippers that you can use as well to swim about, which opens up a few new rooms for you. This looks much better than even I remember it with my rose-tinted glasses. But obviously there is a reason for that. When I had my Amstrad in the past, and the game was new, I didn't have a RAM expansion pack. So all of the games I played were all the 64K versions. It's really good to see all the extra detail they put into the game. Because, you know, I don't think they started off saying that this is going to be a big project and we're going to spend lots of extra effort on it. We're going to have more time to make it, or anything like that. It was just simply a case of making something that's exactly the same as all the other games, but trying to squeeze more into exactly the same as what you had before. I played the cut down 64K version, and even that had quite a lot of extra stuff in it actually. So you get the extra frames of animation when Dizzy's drowning. You see him hold his breath as he's slowly drowning. You've got the falling animation, the eating animation, but they're all kind of cut down a little bit, and the text is cut down a little bit as well. With 128K, you've got the wobbly seaweed, you've got stars that spin, the Yoke Folk have got extra animations, and yeah, I loved it then and I love it now. It's a great game.